In today's short video, I'm going to share with you 5 powerful paradigms to shift from fear into courageous faith. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome back. My name is Dom, and I help people to step into their truth and power. Fear. Believe it or not, fear does have a positive intention for us. And usually, it's tied to keeping us feeling safe. But if we always respond to our fears, we're going to wind up smothering ourselves in our safety and lose our freedom to become who we're divinely led to become. Life requires us to take some risk. And risk, for some people, drives up fear. I know this because I was one of those people. Growing up, my experiences taught me to always play it safe. And as a result, I struggled to grow. I struggled to break out of my own self-imprisoned walls. Sure, I was safe, but in the process of smothering myself in my safety, something else was missing or being lost. And that thing that was missing or being lost was what I call the juice of life. The juice that had been sucked out of my life experience. That juice of life is sparked within us when we become excited and passionate about something. But in order for us to experience that, it requires us to stretch ourselves into taking some risks. For over 10 years, I dreamed about doing what I get to do now in supporting and helping other people. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. I was stuck in the fear of working in an IT job, asking myself, how will I do it? How do I go from feeling miserable, earning good money, to feeling great regardless of the money I earn? Is it really possible? At 50 years old, I awakened to the fact that I had spent almost my entire life making decisions from a place of fear instead of a place of empowerment. And the moment I began shifting this, my life began to radically change. So if you're experiencing some levels of fear right now in some aspect of your life, I'm going to share 5 powerful paradigms that I learned to help shift myself from fear into courageous faith. So the first fear paradigm is the need to run away or flee. This is particularly true for those of us who don't like to deal with confrontation. Normally, when we think about confrontation, we think about it in terms of having to confront other people. But when we're talking about our fear, there's likely something within ourselves we're resistant to confronting. But instead of running away or fleeing, we actually want to turn this paradigm upside down and look at the faith paradigm. The faith paradigm says, stay. Face your fear and know that which is greater than you is with you and for you. And trust where your heart is leading you. The second paradigm that fear leans into is the need to lie or cheat in order to feel safe. But are you really safe? When we're not truthful, what we're actually doing is setting up traps for ourselves to step into in the future. And having to navigate those traps creates anxiety within us. If we're feeling anxiety, we're not feeling safe. So the faith paradigm to this says, instead of lying or cheating, to stand in truth. It may be hard, but it's so much easier to live in a clean heart and clean conscience. You buy yourself so much more peace and so much more freedom when we stand in our truth. I mean, imagine the kind of life you will lead if you had that kind of peace and freedom. The third paradigm fear leans into is the need to worry, or the experience of feeling anxious or panicked. When we're in this place, it's often associated with our need to control our experience or to control other people in our experience in some way. If we want to experience more peace and freedom, it will never be found when we're in this need to control our experience. Peace and freedom are more attainable when we step back and we flip worry onto its head to decide to remain calm and steadfast, to trust the process of the experience. Perhaps you've heard the term let go and let God. Many of us think we're good at this, but when the big thing happens in life, it's very hard for us to actually do until we're knocked down to our knees and we can't do anything for ourselves anymore. But if we practiced the art of allowing on a regular basis, there is so much less worry and anxiousness because you're able to truly trust that there are no mistakes and everybody is right where they need to be, including you. The fourth paradigm fear leans into is to do nothing. Now, it's one thing to stop and do nothing because that is what your heart is leading you to do. But when we're in fear, it's altogether something different. Our fearful thoughts can keep us stuck for a very long time. Often with this one, there is a level of overwhelm that is associated with leaning into the fear. Our fear leads us to putting things off, things that we know we should do, and we wind up doing nothing. This paradigm is also associated with what I refer to as the seed for regret. I don't know about you, but when I have failed to follow where my heart is leading me and I do nothing, I've almost always regretted it later. So instead of doing nothing, we want to turn this paradigm upside down and we want to pray and then take action. But just take one step that will move you in the direction of where you want to go. And then continue doing this, staying present with just taking one step at a time. So many times I've stood at the bottom of a mountain looking at it and asking myself, how the hell am I going to get to the top of that mountain? And because I couldn't figure it out, I would do nothing. I didn't have all the answers to all of my questions. I didn't know the how in every step of the way. But when I began focusing on just the next step, I realized I knew what I needed to do to take that next step. I realized I had the resources to take that step. I had the knowledge, and I had usually always had everything that I needed to take it. But I didn't do it because I didn't know the rest of the way to get to the top. So I didn't do anything. I just stood still. Take the next step anyway. And when you take that step, the next step after that will be revealed to you. When I say trust the process, this is what I mean. Allow the process of life to lead you where your heart is leading you. The fifth paradigm that fear leans into is to cower or to give up. This paradigm is usually associated with fear of failure or fear of judgment. But what if, for just a moment, I told you that there was no such thing as failure? What if in every experience we have only the possibility of three outcomes? An opportunity to celebrate, an opportunity to learn, or an opportunity for both to occur. How does that shift your perception of what's really going on for you? What if there was no such thing as judgment? What if the judgment wasn't really about you at all? What if judgment is really a reflection of another person's inability to be curious because of their own fears within? These powerful reframes have the ability to move you out of staying stuck in fear into a position of taking empowered action towards something you're desiring to experience. And so I'm curious, which of these 5 paradigms is having the most impact on you today? Share that in the comments below because I want to continue to support and encourage you so that you can begin moving forward. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. But even more, I would like to invite you to join my brand new free online community, Pro Empowerment Online. I'm sharing valuable content in the newsfeed of that community each week, but even more, you'll have the ability to join in the conversation in a place where we can share freely with like-minded people without feeling judged or being censored for your beliefs. To join me in the community, it is 100% free. Just click on the Pro Empowerment Online link in the comments and description box below. I look forward to connecting with you in that community. And so with that, I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I love that you're here joining me for this video. And until I get to connect with you again for my next video, stay well, stay healthy, and stay empowered.